Good day everyone, I am Limmuel Ador Dionisio, and together with my group mates, we are here to discuss the given topics. And I'll be starting our presentation about two important concepts used in decision making and business analysis, which are the Pareto'S principle and SWOT analysis, or what we call SWOT analysis. So in the world of management and problem solving, these two tools plays a very special important role. Pareto'S principles, also known as the 80-20 rule, helps us to understand how most results come from a small number of causes. So it teaches us how to focus our efforts on the most impactful factors. Otherwise, SWOT analysis is a framework used to identify our strengths or the weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of a business, project, or even personal goal. So it helps individuals and organizations assess their situation clearly and make smarter decisions. So together, Pareto'S principles and SWOT analysis guides us in setting priorities, managing resources, and even achieving success efficiently. So to begin, let's first understand what Pareto'S principles really means and how it applies in your life.
Thank you, Mr. Limmuel. I'm Karl Abenoja and I'm explaining Pareto'S principle, also known as 80/20 rule. This concept was introduced by Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto in the late 19th century. He observed that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of population. From that observation, the idea is spread to many other fields, showing that in most cases, a small portion of causes leads to a large proportion of results. To put it simplified, Pareto's principle means 80% of customers come from 20% of efforts or causes. This is an example. In a business, 80% of sales often came from 20% of customers. In studying, 80% of exam results will depend on 20% of the topics. In time management, 80% of productivity might come from 20% of your task. The key lesson here is focus. Instead of trying to do everything, Pareto principles teaches us to identify and prioritize the few tasks that make the biggest impact. Now that we understand how the 80/20% rule works, let's move to another powerful tool for analysis, the planning, the SWOT or SWOT analysis.
Thank you, reporter number 2. Hello everyone, I am Paolo and today I'll be explaining what SWOT analysis and how it is used. SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool that helps identify both internal and external factors that can affect an organization, project, or even an individual. Let's go through each element one by one. Strength are the internal factors that give an organization an advantage. This could include things like skilled employees, strong leadership, good reputation, and reliable financial resources. Number 2 is the weaknesses are the internal limitations that hold you back. For example, lack of experience, outdated technology, or poor management. Recognizing this helps you understand where improvement is needed. 3 is the opportunities. Refer to external factors. You can take advantage of this might include new market trends, technological advancement, or change in consumers' behavior that works in your favor. The last one is threats, are external challenges that could harm your success. This may include competitions, economic downturns, or new government regulations. By analyzing these 4 areas, organizations and even individuals can better understand their current situation. This helps in developing strategies that use strength, reduce weakness, seize opportunities and prepare for threats. In short, SWOT analysis provides a clear picture of where you stand and what the actions you need to take to succeed. Next, let's move on to Pareto principle and SWOT analysis can actually work together to improve decision making and problem solving.
Okay, so now let's talk about the applying Pareto's principle and SWOT analysis together. So first, Pareto's principle and SWOT analysis can be used together for effective planning and problem solving. Both tools helps in prioritizing and focusing, identifying what the matters most and where to take actions. So, sabi dito, Pareto's principles. So, what is Pareto's principles? So, ito lang yan. Pag sinabi mong Pareto's principles, tandaan mo lang yung root word na 80-20 rule. And it helps you to prioritize or focus on the few factors that has the biggest impact. So, using Pareto's principles, naniniwala daw sila na your 20% actions have 80% results. So, yung ginawa mong 20% na actions, equivalent by the 80% of its result. So, that's the Pareto's principles, or the 80-20 rule, which focuses in the few factors that have the biggest impact. So, apply natin siya in businesses, no? Or identify muna natin what is SWOT analysis kasi applying them together. So, pag sinabi naman natin SWOT analysis, or from the word itself, SWOT means strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Pag sinabi mong SWOT analysis, it helps you to understand your situations, your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and threats. So sabi dito, combining Pareto and SWOT, focus on the most critical parts of your SWOT. Example, focus on the 20% of the weaknesses causing 80% of the problems. Then helps in making smarter, data-driven, and focuses on decisions. So, apply natin siya in business. So, for example, a company finds several weaknesses in our SWOT analysis. Then they use Pareto's principle to focus the top 20 causing 80% of issues. So, halimbawa, meron tayong burger roll. So, gumamit ka ng SWOT analysis, yung 20% na nagkukos kung bakit hindi mabenta yung food mo or yung burger mo is overcook yung patty or maliit yung patty. No? So, using this analysis, no, so 80% nun na naging result is walang bumibili sa'yo, nalulugi na yung business mong burgeran. So, by applying these two, malalaman mo agad, that's the problem. I need to fix that problem so that, halimbawa, dapat hindi pala overcook. Dapat presentable to the eye yung ating food, no? So, using these two, nalalaman natin, no, yung mga factors na pwedeng maka-affect sa ating businesses. So, example, personal example naman tayo. A student uses SWOT to find weak subjects, then applies Pareto to spend 80% study time on 20% of topics that affect grades most. So, second example is student. So, based on his SWOT analysis, gumawa siya, no? So, siguro nag-fail siya sa kanyang mga subjects because of the lack of time management. So, nalaman niya agad na kulang siya sa time management because of the SWOT analysis. Then, in-apply niya yung Pareto's principles na 80-20 rule, no? So, 20% of study time niya is in-apply niya dun sa 80% ng kanyang subjects or topics, no? So, kumbaga, nagkaroon siya ng time management. So, conclusion tayo, ano? By combining both tools, we can prioritize effectively. So, yung student, prioritize niya yung pagkakaroon ng time management because of the help of SWOT analysis para ma-conclude or ma-persuade or ma-identify niya what is the problem, then uses time management as his solution. Applying the 20% solution and the 80% result. So, by combining both tools, we can prioritize effectively, make better decisions or solutions or actions, and improve focuses and results in business, academics, and daily life. Thank you.
So, I am Marianne Manuncia, and I'll be giving the summary and conclusion of our report. So, to summarize, Pareto's principle, the 18-20 rule, teaches us that a small number of causes often leads to most results. It reminds us to focus our time, energy, and resources on the most important tasks that deliver the greatest impact. On the other hand, SWOT analysis helps us evaluate our internal strengths and weaknesses, as well as the external opportunities and threats around us. It is a valuable thing for planning, problem solving, and strategic thinking. When used together, these two tools help us identify priorities and make better decisions. Pareto's principles helps us focus, while SWOT analysis helps us understand the situation completely. In a world where time and resources are limited, applying these concepts allows us individuals and organizations to achieve more by working smarter, not harder. Thank you for listening to our presentation on Pareto's principle and SWOT analysis. We hope that you learn how these tools can be used not only in business, but also in our everyday lives.